I'm sorry. Fellas, I didn't catch y'all's names.
Jorge Ochoa, Carlos Letter, Pablo Escobar. A couple of $1 billion from now, they'd be known as the Medellin Cartel. And back then, they're just 3 businessmen trying to figure out how to get their merchandise to the United States. There was just one small problem. See, pilots, they were killing themselves trying to get off that runway.
I see you had a few other boys try to make it out of here.
Sí, terrible pilots.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they were heavy, you know.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first leg in the Barry Seal Tour de Americas. Can't wait to have you all on for this one. This is going to be super exciting. I'm really excited to do this. I'm more excited for this than I think I've been for something in sim for a while. The idea started, I had an idea. It started with career mode, and then it just kicked off in my mind, and I just rolled with it, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So if you're new, if you're just tuning in, this whole series of flights is going to be themed after the movie American Made with Tom Cruise. It's based on a true story. Barry Seal left his job flying airliners, ended up flying for some folks down south, flying some freight, and we ran with it during our career mode. We still do the Barry Seal logistics. We run 2 companies. We've got a private charter. We've got a freight company as well, but this is kind of like the prequel to Barry Seal Logistics. This is what made Barry become Barry. We're taking a Beech Duke, a Grand BE-60 Duke from Black Square from the northernmost tip of Alaska all the way down to the southern tip of Argentina. So it's over 8,000 nautical miles, all flights, real time, real weather, no skipping. We're going to try to do at least 2 a month, maybe more. It should take about 2 to 3 months to complete, with the flights averaging around 230 nautical miles each. Today's flight is just a little bit longer than that to get us to our first stop, right around 400 nautical miles route distance, about 380 straight line. So we've got rules to follow. We've got things to do that we need to make sure we lock it in here at the very beginning of this stream, which we're going to do right now. We'll talk about the failure rate, which will end up, and it's going to be fun. So welcome in, guys and gals. Glad to have you here. And shout out, can I just say a couple of shout outs? The trailer, if you haven't watched the trailer video to this series, shout out to Nabil Hamdoui. He's started his own channel now, Flight Films. What is it, Nabil? Check it out. I have it linked in the description of the trailer videos, and he's made some really awesome content. I got to say, one of the best parts about being a content creator here is getting to know all y'all in the community. I mean, we have some seriously talented people in the community, starting out with Whiskey Throttle, Silky Smooth, making incredible liveries, and then we've got Mr. Saturday, Nabil with incredible editing skills. So just getting to interact with y'all is absolutely awesome. So I can't thank you all enough for your contributions here to the series. But here we go. It's time to get it on. It's minus 22C outside. The failure rate, we're going to close the poll because the stream is started. We're going to lock it in at 2x real time all the way down there. So there are some rules for this flight. For this series, I'll go over them in cruise if you haven't read them. Everything is in the Discord. The Discord has a separate section for these flights, and if you have any questions, I'll have the routes up there for each leg, and I also have a link to all of the previous streams for this series of flights going down south too. That'll all be in the Tour de America section of the Discord, so make sure you check that out. All right, Captain Tango, my man, thank you so much for the 32 months of support. Appreciate you. It's time to build a full-size Duke cockpit, boss. Captain Tango, you know what? A full-size Duke cockpit would be pretty awesome, absolutely awesome. And Jeremy Harvey in the house. And how can I forget Jeremy? Absolutely. Jeremy's made all the music for our intros and our special tours. That intro music song you heard there, that was from Jeremy Harvey. Again, another fantastic content creator, a musical talent indeed, all the custom sounds. So thank you as well, Jeremy. Y'all are absolutely fantastic. So we've got a lot Alex, you know what? That trailer, it didn't make me just want to learn the Duke. It made me want to buy an actual beach Duke. You know, it wanted me to buy a beach Duke. So a couple things we need to do here. I forgot to tell the FBO to put on the ground heater. It's minus 22 outside. So let's go ahead and get the engine heater on. And we'll go ahead and get external power hooked up to the airplane as well. All right, because we're going to need it. We got to do full pre-flights. We're doing full run-ups. You'll see here we got no GPS. We have a KNS 81 RNAV unit, which we will take a look at. I'll show you how to operate that. We are stopping in Eureka in California, and that will be our navigation retrofit location only. That's where we'll pick up a 430 to take us the rest of the way. So right now we're stuck with just a KNS 80, but let's go ahead and do some pre-flight. We'll go ahead and turn on all of our lights. We've got the engine heater on, and I'll tell you what we should do too is probably pull all the plugs, huh? Let's go ahead and pull all the plugs from that as well. So we'll go ahead and wheel chocks, pitot covers, engine covers. We'll leave the external power and heater on right now as we do our pre-flight around. We have a fixed payload that we're going to be taking the entire time. All right, everything looks good. Our lights are all functional. All right, looking good. Coming around the tail, make sure everything looks good. Our beacon light is working up there. Wonderful. Migs, good to see you. I'm not talented whatsoever, but I did play Devil's Advocate with Tour de America suggestion in chat. You absolutely did, Migs. Oh my gosh, I never noticed this. Look at this. A custom little logo. I just noticed that. I've never seen that. So another thing that's really cool is we're going to be adding flags for each country that we land in during this tour. So you'll notice here we've got the American flag. That's where we're starting out. And then every time we land in a new country, that subsequent stream, we will have a new flag on the aircraft. So hopefully by the time we end the series, we'll have a whole slew of flags. Now, there is one other caveat to this whole stream, or whole series of streams. If we crash the airplane, it's over. Full stop, okay? There's no resets, there's no restarts. The only caveat to that is if there is an error or a, let's just say let's put nav off and put nav on for right now. The only caveat to that is if it's a bug, like a controller binding issue or something bugs out, then we can, reset. So we're going to add state flags too. Swarm, that would be a good idea. Yeah, adding state flags too. Who just spawned in live on top of me there? All right, Mr. Duke, why don't you slide over there at spot 1. Give him a minute to slide out of the way here. Come on. Get your nose out of the way. Don't make me disconnect. If the sim crashes, Jeremy, then absolutely, yeah, same thing. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Slew yourself over there. Absolutely wonderful. If the sim crashes, Jeremy, then yes, that wouldn't count. So I've got a rule sheet. We'll set over. We'll talk about that. But right now, let's look at our payload. This is what we're going to be taking for the whole tour. We've got 800 pounds of payload. I've topped this off at 100 gallons. I've looked at the fuel. It's $12.20 a gallon at Jet A. So we've got, we're going to keep track of the fuel we burn this entire series too, which will be kind of fun. So we've topped off at 100 gallons, not quite full tanks, but 100 gallons each would be more than enough to get us there, plus our alternate. Left engine is 100%, right engine is 100%. Everything is up and running. We have no failures, and we are set now at 2x real time. So we cannot change this for the duration of the tour. So, all right. Let's see. Let's go ahead, and if that is all set up, we're going to put this away. And let's go ahead, and I guess we can turn the master on, turn the inverter on. What's the default command for the landing light, or not the landing light, this light here? Ooh, panel lights. Okay, that gets rid of it. We'll get our panel lights on. We'll go ahead and close the nose baggage door there. We still have the engine heaters on. We're trying to warm up those engines before engines start. Let's go ahead, and we got 22.8 on. Let me make sure. Yep, radio works. 22.8, that works. All right, it's coming down here. We'll go ahead and hide this yoke here for a second. If I can click you. All right, we'll hide that yoke. 22.8 is the comm. For navigation, oh, let's check this out. I do have, I thought this was pretty neat. So it actually has, I got the sim brief in the plane, what is it here? Where did it go? Flights. I want to view this flight. No, this one here. Will it let me see the VORs on the flight plan? I don't think it will. Doesn't have the freaks for these VORs. Okay, so we'll have to use the old school way. We're not going to use Navigraph charts. This seemed to give us issues. BRW info frequencies 116.2. So we're going to set 116.2 on nav 1. Our first leg today is mostly going to be VOR nav 1160, but we are going to use we're going to practice with our KNS 80 today, because we will probably end up needing that. I'm going to put 16.0 nav2 active, and then the last waypoint we are going to need is TAL frequencies 116.6. So we'll put you on standby 2, 116.6. So now if I look at my radio stack, everything is going to be set up with something useful in it. No sleep till Argentina, Dukes for the win. John Seifert, yes indeed. It's going to be an absolute awesome little flight. So, all right, we're good there. Let me go back to, get rid of TAL. Let me go back to the main airport. We actually have default charts. So, PABR, what I like to do here, when you don't have the actual chart, I'll just go to, see we don't have any, it still have an actual 10.9, but if you come to an approach chart here, we've got a little inset. So we've got a little mini chart here for our airport diagram. I believe we'll have to take a look at the weather here in a minute, and then we'll prepare for departure. But let's go ahead and finish the rest of our flow. Everything looks good here. Nav is on. Beacon can stay off. We'll turn the electric pitch trim switch on for right now. Looking at our pressurization, we're going to be cruising at 24,000 feet. So we will set 24 right there. We'll pressurize about 9,500. Norm test is in norm. These pressurizations are in. That looks good. Our fuel selectors are on. Let's go ahead and I'm going to keep the cowl flaps closed because it's so cold. It's minus 22. So we're going to close the cowl flaps for start instead of open them. Dexter says, I'll be flying the same route offline in the Chancellor. Have a great stream. Dexter, that's awesome, man. All right, we'll put the oxygen to on. Actually, that's flowing, so oxygen checks. That looks good. All right, baggage doors closed. Magic barrel ref. Top altitude will set 24,000 feet. That looks good. And I think we are about ready to start, and then we'll get our after start checklist up and running. You can see here we don't have any attitude indicator because we don't have a vacuum. We don't have any suction. So do the cowls need to be open for heaters? Yes, for heaters, but we're going to disconnect everything now and start up. So we'll go to our payload. We're going to go ahead and turn off the inverter, turn off the avionics master. We will disconnect external power. We will remove the engine heater. We will close the cabin door. We will turn on the beacon light, and we are ready for our first startup of the trip. So let's go ahead and pre-oiler. We're going to pre-oil left and right. We'll bring up our cams for this flight as well. Now pre-oil the right. That's good. Now let's pre-oil the left. 23.6 for CTAF, Joe Plains. All right, I will tune in here in just a minute. Pre-oilers are set. We're going to check boost pump audio. All right, so we got 2 pumps. Let's go ahead and prime. 50 pounds per hour minimum. We've got that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is coming off. This is coming off. Fuel boost pumps are off. Beacon is on. Let's go ahead and start engine 2. Right, left, both. Crack the throttle. Let's see if we can turn this sucker over. Oof. It's cold. Cylinder head temp is pegged at 0. All right, we got a good start on number 2. Set it at 1,000 RPM. Go ahead and lean that fuel flow back. All right, let's do the same thing. I know it's freezing outside, but let's listen to the audio. Right, left, both. Crack the throttle. Juice up the sounds. Oh, there we go. Just barely got her. Lean those engines right back. 1,000 RPM set on both. Generator 1, generator 2, inverter, avionics. We'll close up the window. It is chilly out here. All right, 1,000 RPM both. Inside the cockpit right now, it's -7. So we're going to go ahead and turn the manual heat on high. Temp increase. Let's go ahead and get that running. Let's go ahead and do a couple other... Well, we're not really going to do any other checks right now because we got to warm up everything. Everything warmed up here. Panel lights are good for now. I don't really need to dim them. We will get our transponder on. Get that fired up. The cabin heat is ripping. We're trying. Can I get a radio check? 23.6. Or nope, that's wrong free. All right, are you on 22.8 or 23.6? We should be on 20. Let's do a CTAF check here.
I'm on 22.8.
It doesn't come back with ABBA. JJ Stevens, my man, did I? Let me see. Oh yeah, because I have this cam. Must have missed it, my man. Appreciate you.
Bank angle.
UC Delta A339 out of Minneapolis had a pitot tube frozen, lost AP controls and had stall warnings going off. Was scary to listen to. They landed back safe though.
Really? No, I did not. That's crazy. A frozen pitot tube? Man, JJ, appreciate the support, man. $3 bank angle check. I did not hear about that at all. Very interesting. I did not hear about that at all, my man. Well, thank you for the $3 super chat. But I mean, it would make sense if the lose the autopilot when it loses its data. All right, 23.6 is up. Let me do a quick weather check here. Let's go to PABR info. Winds are favoring runway 8. Okay, so winds to runway 8. So if we go back to our charts, look at our ILS chart, we get the mini map. We're parked over here somewhere, so ILS or runway 8 will be out this direction. We are going to need to do a full-blown run-up as well. Right now, look at our cylinder head temps. They're just starting to come up, and that was with the engine heater on there. We're just now getting in the green. Oil temps are still in the red. Look at our left one, too, because we started it after the first one. Our right engine oil is a little bit warmer, which would make sense. But everything is frozen cold. All right, let's go ahead and release the brakes. Let's get the taxi light on. I did bind these now. And I'm going to... Oh, I didn't secure my rudder pedals. They came loose yesterday. That's unfortunate. I'll have to secure those in cruise. Be real gentle with our engines here. All right. There's a menace to society right there, so we'll go ahead and follow him. And Barrow traffic, November 357 Bravo Sierra will be taxied runway 8 behind the turbine, Duke. It's colder than the Duke's TIT gauge. It is, man. It absolutely is. All right. Why is our taxi light not on?
Traffic exiting runway 8.
Because that's the wrong one. I rebound. I'm gonna trust me. I will learn which taxi switches, which light switches I have bound by the end of this tour. Gosh, this rudder pedal. I'm not getting that bug. I don't have my rudder pedals secured on the floor.
Right,
This is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna have to secure that. My little stickies came loose. All right. Did you guys check it in the turn? Let's see. Opposite the turn. That looks good. We got a ways to warm up those oil temps here. Now, Bill, the Duke is so much juice. I'm telling you, man. That trailer you made, dude. Literally, I want to go buy a real Duke. I want to go buy a real Duke because of that trailer. Oh, don't let it go down to 1,000. It'd probably kill the engine right here. All right, so he's going to hold short there. Look, I locked up the brakes. We got to be careful. We need to, we got a long time in this Duke. So, I guess we're going to do a run up right here. So let's go ahead and set the brake. Brakes are set. Let me make sure our temps are getting towards at least out of the bottom of the red. Okay. Everything is out of the bottom of the red, so we should be safe to do a run up now. So I'm going to actually get my checklist out here. We're going to run through these. I've printed out checklists. I want to get these. I want to get a little yoke clip here. So let's see. Engine start cold. We did all that. We did the pre-oiler, all those. So I can get that out of here. Engine start flood. I got all the checklists printed out here. For startups, all right, run-ups. I know how to do the run-up. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Joining the Congo Lancer wave.
Fuel selectors, crossfeed, all that. We're going to check those. Slaved on the line. Mixture full rich 2000. Exercise propeller and cool. All right.
Victor Delta.
Let's go ahead and run it up. So we're going to go full rich. 2,000 RPM. Kill our taxi light while we're sitting there. Get that turbo spooled up. Alright, 2,000 RPM. Cylinder head temps are rising rapidly. Let's open these half. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8. Alright, and prop cycle. Let's do right side first. It's really cool. We're going to do 3 cycles on both props. And left. Oof. That one sounded like it bogged down hard. All right, mag check, left. Both. Right. Both. Fuel is good. Let's do a boot cycle.
I'm the Duke.
Hard to see the de-ice, but it's in the green. Instruments in the green. That looks good. All right, let's bring it down. 18 to 1,000. Okay, we're down to 1,000. Let's check our windshield heat. That checks. Left, right. Volts jumped. Pitot stall. Those check. Prop heats. Shed the load. Beautiful, beautiful. That all looks good. No flaps required for this takeoff. It's 35C in here. I'm going to pull pressurization air out because we're going to need that in the climb. It's 36, but we got to shut off the blower for takeoff. So we're going to go. That's coming off. Prop sync is off. We are ready to go. Barrel traffic. Duke 357 Bravo Sierra. Departing runway 8 straight out barrel. All right, for departure.
That speed very.
Thanks, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and set heading 080. We need to join. The radial is going to be 144. That's our outbound radial. Once we get established on the course, 144 outbound, we're going to do a whole KNS nav tutorial. So let's get out of here. Let's light them up. We'll go nav and strobe. Recogs, brakes released. I'm not missing anything here in the checklist. Nope, we're looking good. Let's go. Leg 1 starts now. Look at all the Dukes lined up. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Dukes plus 1 took off. Is that 7? Cylinders are nice and warm. Let's open them up for the rest for takeoff now. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,005. That should be full open now. I know you could check, but that's cheating. We're not going to use the iPad to cheat. We do it the real way. All right. Instead of yogas, we're doing berries in chat. Let me make sure the trim is set. Trim set, no flaps required, mixture's full. Ladies and gentlemen, spool them up 1800. Berries in chat. Let's go to Argentina. Engine instruments are green. Power set. Ooh, we bounced it off the governor. Not a good way to start out. Airspeed alive. Oh, my rudders are slipping. Oh, my rudders. Oh, my rudder. Positive rate. Gear up. Pitch it for 120. Fly with. Goodbye, Barrow, Alaska. Oh, that is awesome. Look at that. Get that pitch in there. Get some more trim in there. 1,000 feet. Come back to 39, 38. Right in there. Props. 2,800. Start a right turn. Traffic, Duke 357 Bravo Sierra out of 2,000 feet, right turn out to join 144 radial outbound, last call, Barrow. All right, off to 22.8. I got to turn the sim down. I can't even hear myself think. That was epic. All right, I don't know if you guys can hear me now. How's the sound? Is that better? I had those turned up to 11 there for takeoff. All right, 2,500 for 24. We're going to go ahead and set intercept heading. Joining the 144 outbound off Barrow. We've got good reception, 2.3. DME is looking good. Let's come back down here. Let's go ahead and get the auto heat on, get that going, start warming us up. Cabin is pressurizing. Verify. Yes, it is. Set 140 in the trim. Oh, that is so cool. Nabil, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, my man. Appreciate you. Huge shout out to Nabil. Again, Aviation Films with the trailer absolutely knocked it out of the park. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Check him in the trailer. Check out his other videos. I linked his channel in the description on that trailer video. Make sure you check it out. It got me so hyped up, man. It got me so hyped. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've been thinking about it all night. I just can't wait to fly Duke. There goes Barrow. All right, take a look at our temps. We'll go ahead and go half. So 7, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7. Should be close to half. We're joining the airway now in the left turn. 140 on the speed. Power looks good. Crack that mixture just a hair. Again, if you're wondering how we're going to end up using our KS nav, we're going to do a full, I'm going to show y'all in cruise here, give us something to do. We're going to have a little bit longer cruise today. We got an hour 30 minutes block time today. Flies so nice. The Duke is just so awesome, man. I love this airplane. Best airplane in flight sim, maybe. Who knows? John dropping the 5 gifted memberships. John, I appreciate you as very much, sir. Thank you so much for an additional 5 memberships from John. Getting additional Barry members in here today. Appreciate y'all. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you for the support, John. What I didn't know is that this actually vibrates. That little exhaust stack vibrates. I noticed that in the trailer. Oh, look, you could see the headlights from the other Dukes. Look at this. That is really cool. That is really cool. We'll keep all our lights on till 10K. That is really cool. When I zoom in, you can see the headlights. Headlights, wing lights. We'll go ahead and let's go ahead and kill the ice light. Don't need that. Kill the ice light. We may need that. We don't want to burn it out. You ready for Mahomes to officially become the GOAT? It ain't happening, Mario Ricketts. Ain't gonna happen. The Grand Duke is the best version. I agree. I think the Grand Duke is the best, man. I love the Turbine Duke. Don't get me wrong, but there's something more, I don't know, raw about flying a super powerful piston, turbocharged piston, you know? It's like having twins. I love them both equally, but the piston's the firstborn. I don't have twins, so I wouldn't know, but trimmed out. And when you fly these with force feedback too, adds a whole nother level of juice as well. Yeah, more work to do. Is it still too loud though? It's still kind of loud for me. I'm gonna knock it down to another 15 notches here. All right, as we go through 10,000 feet, let's go ahead and kill the lights. What was that? What was that? Why did our engine just go? I don't like that. Come on now. Engine temp check. Everything's in the green. Pressures are in the green. Everything looks good. Gust of icy wind, I hope. It was nothing. Migs dropping 5 more gifted memberships. Migs, thank you so much, man. I appreciate your 5 gifted memberships to the channel, my friend. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much, Migs. If you pick up a membership from any of the folks today, Migs, to Bill, John, make sure you say thank you. Absolutely awesome. Thank you. Did I blip the battery switch? What do you mean? Blip the battery switch? No, they're all on. I may just not use my lights. I bound the lights to my Bravo, but it's hard to reach them in front of the mixtures, you know? It's hard to reach it in front of the mixture. All right, what I'm going to do is we're going to lock in a autopiloto here, even though it's hand flying wonderfully. Let's go ahead and make sure everything is working with our autopilot. So first and foremost, we're heading attitude. That's fine. We'll go autopilot engaged. Let's get nav mode, see if she'll pick it up. Slight turn to the right. We're 140 on the pitch, which is where we want to be at, so we don't need to change that at all. That looks good. Climbing up to 24,000 feet. Should I have the fuel vent heats on? Let's throw those on. Let's do the fuel vent heats. I don't know. That hiccup in fuel, I saw that fuel flow drop. So we're just going to get the fuel vent heats on. In real world right now, you wouldn't need it. But sometimes, you know, Microsoft can do weird things with the icing simulation. Like, you won't be in active precip, but your airplane will start to... It shows you in a real light layer. So I'm going to get those on just in case. Look at the reflection of that strobe, though, out there. Or is that that's the recogs, actually. Let's set those off. Strobe and nav. We'll go beacon only. We don't need the recogs flashing anymore. There we go. Migs, thank you for another 6 Canadian, man. Appreciate you. All right, this is the preemptive slush fund up and running for that 2x real-time failure rate. Migs, I'll get to that too in cruise. We got to figure out what we're going to do about repairs if we need them. Thank you so much, Migs, for a 7 Canadian. Appreciate the support, my man. All right. We are climbing, looking good. Mixture cracking just a little bit. Temps are fine. We are looking good now. Okay, so what I want to do is I kind of want to start with looking at our map here, and I want to show y'all why I'm going to use the KNS nav here just as a preemptive. So we are joining an airway. This is technically an airway. Now it's a GPS airway, I believe. I don't think it's a high altitude VOR airway. It's very long, so we may not have reception the whole way. But what you can do with our KNS 81 is you essentially can create waypoints off of a VOR. So you need to make sure you have reception to at least one VOR. So what I can do is we can put BTT as, well, see, I don't think we'll have the reception from this VOR to get here. What I was going to try to do is put a waypoint here in the middle. So might have to do that, put that in the middle. I'm trying to think about how I could use that. Go ahead. Oh, just got a radio check. I'll think about that here in a minute as we climb up a little bit further. Let's go ahead and lower that pitch just a hair. Maintain 140. How's our manifold? We're looking good. We can get a little bit more in there. 39. Props are looking good. Mixtures are looking good. How's our temps? Everything's in the green. Circuit breakers are all in. What's the temp? We got 72 in here. Nice. We've got it nice and warm. 72 in the airplane, and it's minus 30 outside. That is cold. That is cold. That is cold. I'm going to look at the manual here real quick. The sunrise is going to be nice, yeah. What I like is the sun is going to come up before we get over the high terrain. I don't like flying over high terrain at night, even in a twin. Only FAA sectionals with no moving maps. Yeah, Captain Tango. All right, you're right. There's a standard set. STDs are not set. Let's go ahead and pull standard, or set standard. 2992 is set out of 18.4. They're all synced up. Lower that nose just a little bit more. Maddie K dropping 5 gifted memberships. Maddie K, my man, appreciate you, good sir. If you pick up a membership from Maddie K, make sure you shout him out and say thank you as well. Maddie, thank you so much, man. Sunrise today up here in Alaska is 10:30 a.m. Really? So we may have a little ways to go for sunrise. So this is blue. Oh yeah, we should have put the transponder on altitude. You're right. Hey, it's cold. It was cold down there. All right. If you ever been in an airplane where it's freezing cold and you're starting up, it's easy to forget little things like that. Hold on, I just got a text from my airport. My buddy's like, he's at my home lake. He's like, dude, you got to come out here. Caught 12 in an hour. I'm like, I know. I caught 50 yesterday in like 2 hours with the kids. Proud dad moment. Really cool. Have the girls catching fish. All right. Let's see. we're navving, we're looking good. As soon as we get to 24, we need to start thinking about what we're going to do with this radio. We may have to just do a track. Can I? There is no way to check or have a chart on here, is there? Like I can't, other than using Navigraph, I can't have like a sectional chart, right? That's so unfortunate. Terrain highlight obstacles. Yeah, I wish they would give you like a base map so you could see airways and stuff. We're gonna have to go through our NOTAMs too. So I actually already checked all of the weather for our flight. Clear, 10 miles clear, so we should have good weather today. That's going to be important as we do this tour. A350 launch day, Qantas, New York City Marathon. Oh man, that's a long. How about Detroit to Atlanta? That's what I'm feeling. Feeling Detroit to Atlanta. What's cool is you can see, I mean, the only lit up town, Barrow, is way up there on the north. Wow, look at that. It's just reverse blue hour in the morning. JFK to Boston. What's up, Bills Mafia? Nicolem, yeah, we got printed out paperwork and everything. Oh, are we leveling? Beautiful. Getting ready to level at 24,000 feet here. I'm going to make sure, so a couple things we need to do here is set our heading on the course in case we lose our radio signal. I've got 16.0 set. It's probably going to be quite a while before we pick up nav 2. If I look at my sky vector, which I'm gonna overlay sky vector, and we're gonna talk about all this. This actually looks like it's a published VOR route. It's not in blue. It is it's a low airway route, so we should be able to have signal. Bettles, or is it Bettles VOR? BTT? That inbound is, see, so the outbound's 315, so let's reverse that. That's going to be 135 inbound. So I'm going to set 135 down here as a reminder. 135, that's the course we want to track inbound once we eventually get up there. It's going to be a while, though. All right, leveling off at 24,000 feet. Let me get out my cruise perf tables here. All right, engine power settings. What do we want? We want to run 75%. So we're not going to run rental car mode on this whole tour. I got to text my buddy to tell him what to throw. All right, we're going to run 75% of power for our cruise today. At 24,000 feet, we're at 20. Yeah, we're at 24, so 25. So we're going to split, do a little interpolation. Max manifold we're looking at is 34, with up to 2750 on the RPM. So let's come over here and set a nice cruise power setting. We're going to set. I'll leave it back just a hair. I'm going to bring you back 26. Just for noise. 26, and you could see when it decreased, we'll talk about this later too. When I decreased the RPM, I had an increase in manifold pressure, which is accurate, so I want to just give it just a hair more. Right there at about 34. 34, 26. Our props are virtually synced, so let's go ahead and activate the real prop sync. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Prop sync never seems to work for me in real life or in sims. All right, now our fuel flow setting at 25,000 feet, we could set a fuel flow of 112, but we're gonna go for rich of peak. You could see our 75% power line is going to be right there. Bring those mixtures back. Let's watch the ITT. So I'm looking at both. We're going to fine tune this, but I'm looking here and over here. ITTs are coming up. And they're going to peak right there. So we're at about 75% power. So the ITTs peaked and now they're falling at 1525. So let's go ahead and go just rich of peak here. I want one tick above the 15 mark. Should be where I want to be. There we go. So I've got our fuel flow set to the ITT now. What is that? So that's 25, 50, 75, 100. So yeah, 1525 is the peak EGT is what we got set right now. Let's, I need to figure out how to use this thing better. This is like the step, miles per gallon, horsepower. There we go, that's close. I like having the digital cylinder head temps down there. All right, looking at everything else, that looks good. So let's go ahead and close the cowl flaps. Oh, wrong way. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, 4, 1000, 5, 1000, 6, 1000, 7, 1000. Hold it for an extra few seconds. I know we could cheat with the iPad. We're trying to fly realistically. Oh, one thing we should have checked is how long or how much Hobbs time we have. So we had 2.7, I guess, about 2.7 on the Hobbs. By the end of this tour, I bet it's going to be a little bit more than that. We're right in the top of a layer here. We might have to get some additional heats on, but it's got to be too dang cold to pick anything up in real life. I don't know what it would be in SimWorld. So right now, oh my gosh, it's minus 42 C outside at 24,000 feet. That's pretty dang cold. Those are, I mean, minus 40 at 24. What's that off standard? I feel like that's colder than standard. All right, props are set. One other thing we need to set is our task. So we can verify our perf data. So what do we say? It's minus 42 out. So let's go ahead and set up our task gauge. So it's minus 42 C. So this is the minus 40 line right here. Try to zoom way in on it. And we're going to put our cruise altitude over the temperature, or under the temperature rather. So there goes 12, 14. We got to go all the way to 24. This will give us task readout since we don't have a GPS. 22, 23, 24,000 feet. So we've got 24,000 feet under minus 40 C. We're tasking out. Ooh, we're cooking 270. Yeah, we're cooking. That's good. We should, a Grand Duke, we should get 262. So we're running just a hair higher. Or we're actually, that's, so at 25,000 feet, the 75% on a standard day would net 262 in the Grand Duke. Right now, the Grand Duke is faster. If I look at my charts here, Grand Duke is 262 versus standard Duke is 239. So you get almost, what's that, 20 knots? An extra 20 knots here with the Grand Duke. I like that. So we're right on with perf. That looks good. 270 on the TAS. And we could, I thought there was a way to get a ground speed out of one of these things here. Maybe not. I think maybe if we set up this, we could get a ground speed off of the Bendix King. Maybe. Maybe not. It's ISA minus 10. Okay, so it is a little bit colder than standard. That would make sense. DME showing 281 knots. Oh, right in front of my eyes. Thanks, man. Yeah. See, I told you. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Thank you. It's minus 40. What's our cabin temp? You'll say it's nice and cozy. Ooh, it's getting a little bit warm. Let's knock it back just a hair. Knock it back just a hair. Shed some layers. But isn't that great? That's why I love this Duke. I mean, airplanes in general like this, but especially the Duke. Think about this. You're flying a piston engine, 24,000 feet. It's minus 40 degrees Celsius outside. You're in a pressurized cabin. It's 80 degrees, nice and cozy. You're sipping on coffee. You've got your lights. What an incredible airplane. Okay, so we're starting to get some oscillation here for nav track. Ooh, okay. I don't know how we're gonna. We may have to just fly headings for a while. What I'm doing is I'm keeping my heading set so I can kind of keep an idea on what our cross-track air is here. It looks like just a little bit right of course. I may have to go into heading mode here pretty soon. Alright, let me bring up, let's go full screen cam. We'll go full screen cam now. And I'm going to turn the Duke down just a little bit more. On today's episode, V1 ends up in Canada. I know it. Alright. Let me see if I can bring up Sky Vector. And we're going to talk about how we use this machine. It's it's actually really cool how it's set up. Alright, let me get my, I don't like sitting here at 24 on the top of this layer though. And we're right on top. I hate to freeze up, ice up. We'll see. Okay. Got my Sky Vector up. And I need y'all to see what I'm looking at, so we're going to do that by going like this. Sky Vector, done, boom, and beautiful. All right. Let's talk about our nav system and what we're going to be dealing with for the next set of flights. Ooh, I just see that, I don't know if you guys caught that, but our nav2 just picked up. Okay, so I feel relieved in stress. It looks like our nav2 is starting to get signal. Because that was giving me a little bit of stress here, and I'll tell you why. We're going to talk about the KNS-81. It's a simple system to use. At first, you think, oh my gosh, this is way too complex. But it's actually pretty simple to use, and it can be really helpful in certain scenarios. Now, the biggest caveat as we go in, I'm going to be using the term RNAV because that's how it's labeled in the plane. That's how it was labeled when it came out. But it is a very raw area navigation system that has to, in order for this to work, in order for any of our RNAV to work, we need to have active radio signal from a VOR. Okay? If we do not have an active signal from a VOR, it doesn't matter, it's not going to work. So how this nav system operates is it takes the signal of a VOR and it allows you to move that VOR anywhere in space anywhere in space, and it will provide you guidance to that position that you move it to. But you can see why you need to have an active nav signal, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to nav to that spot. So, for instance, we are 90 miles. Okay, so we're 90 miles from Barrow. All right, I'm going to put a waypoint on here. Let's just plan this location, and that is, what's the distance? It's 144 from Barrow. All right. So what I've done is I've just created a GPS waypoint here on Sky Vector. This GPS waypoint is going to be 144 degrees, 144, and it's at, actually I got to look up here. Yeah, 144 miles. Okay, well that's not good. Let's move that. That's not a good example. Let's move it closer. I want to move it to like close to 100. 120. Okay, 105. So I've moved our waypoint to 105 miles at 144 degrees. All right? So what we're going to do to our nav system is we simply tell it what radial and distance we want to move the VOR to. All right? So if I minimize this, we're going to note the frequency is 1160. So let's minimize this. We'll take a look here at our KNS-80. First things first, you can scroll through here a bunch of different waypoints. We're going to use waypoint 1. All right. Do you see these two carrots around the freak? That means this is the active location to input data. So we need to use 116.2. So let's dial in 116.2. All right, so the frequency 116.2. Now we're going to press the data key. You see the carets are now over here to the rad. This is asking you what radial do you want to set up. We determined it was radial 144. So using the wheels, 144. Now you can get hardcore, pull this out, and do decimal as well, okay? But we don't need decimal for this. It's just straight 144 rad. All right, hit the data key. What distance do we want it to be at? We said 120, or let's just make it for math so I can show you. Let's make it 110, okay? So now, if I make this 110 miles out, my current distance is what should be about 8 miles away to that waypoint, right? So let's go ahead and press Use. And now I'm going to select heading mode on my autopilot because I don't want to move here for a second. I'm going to move this to RNAV. Look, my RNAV distance is 9 miles away from the waypoint I created. I can put my NAV1 HSI and I can set it up to track the 1442. Now you can see we're oscillating. We're also getting real close, but the signal is oscillating. If I want to go to that 144 radial, I would nav right to it. Now I think I'm just about to lose the signal completely. That's why this is a bad example, because we're kind of out of the range. All right, but RNAV is now set up to track. If I had a good signal here, you would fly to intercept the course 144 to that waypoint we just made. Now, I'm going to set you back to 144, put you back to nav 1. All right, and then we got to put you, see, we're 6 miles. Yep, that checks. 107, 6.3, 6.2. Beautiful. So pretty simple, actually, when you think about it. That makes sense? Now, I just made it 144 because that's the one we're tracking, but I could select any radial I want. So, for instance, let's look at... I'm going to just stay in heading mode here because everything is starting to oscillate as we move forward here. Let's see if we can't find ourselves... another example. So let's say, now that's a VOR. So is there an airport around here? Well, we're going to use it for our own airport. What we're going to do, now there's no airport there, no good examples. Okay, here we go. Let's use this one. Let's say we wanted to put a waypoint. Let's say we wanted to put a waypoint over PAC-P airport. All right. Assuming that we had the signal from this VOR, let's go ahead and draw the line. So I would put this here, plan PAC-P. All right. To fly to PAC-P, I need to be on the 163 radial. I've got to flip that around at 74 miles. So the problem is this is 163 the other way because it shows us going southbound. So you have to flip this. Radials only go out. So to flip this radial around, you do +2, -2. So that would be 343. So what I would do is I would set up the 343 at 74 miles, and that would bring me right over this field. Let's actually try that as a backup. So 116.0 for Bettles. We're not going to be able to pick this up for a while, but we'll try it. So I'm going to go to waypoint 2. And let's set up the Bettles VOR. Data 1160. All right. Data. And the distance we said was 74. And the +2, -2, 343. So we're going to set up 343. 3-4, pull out. Nope. One little knob. 343. And data again, and we want it to be at 74 miles. And we're going to press use. Okay, so when we get closer up, we're going to actually nav to this waypoint, and we're going to see if it's going to, we're going to fly right over the top of that airport. We're still too far out right now for me to be comfortable with trying to nav to that Bettles VOR. You can see everything is oscillating. So we're going to just hang tight on that for now. But that gives us an idea. Once we get closer on our sky vector here, once we're getting good signal from this, we will nav to the RNAV waypoint, and when we fly over it, we should see PAC-P Airport down there. That'll be a good test for us. We brought a little extra gas, so that should work out. So, very simple to use, but its limitation is having that VOR signal. Now, there is a limitation, another limitation for using it as a primary nav source. If you have a GPS in nav 2 or any, I think if you have a GPS in nav 2, it won't let you, you cannot autopilot track it. The autopilot will not be able to track it because it's going, when you select RNAV, it's going to be linked to your Garmin GPS, and it's going to want to get data from the GPS. Okay, so you can still use the system with the GPS, but your autopilot will not be able to track it because it will be tied to your 430 or 530 or whatever Garmin device that you have. So keep that in mind as well. V1 with no ad block. Yeah, sorry. Vodka, I'm using 1160 on the 319 radio at 10 miles. There you go. So right now we're going to be entering no man's land. I'm contemplating climbing up to get out of this layer here. I think we're going to have to climb up to 26. We might get better reception as well, so we can stay on top of these clouds. Nabil, I was looking for our fellow Duke brothers. Do we have any, Naya? I don't see any yet. I mean, we're cooking pretty good. I mean, the turbine Duke, look at our exhaust is glowing. Our exhaust stacks are glowing. That is cool. And they're vibrating. Look at that. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love the Duke. I love this Grand Duke, too. It's a hell of an airplane. You get, I want to say, this Grand Duke, you're pretty much getting Turbine Duke performance. You're pretty much getting Turbine Duke performance with the Grand Duke. The straight-up Duke, just a regular beach Duke, you lose some significant performance, which I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But I look at the perf charts here. I mean, we're talking 20 knots. Doesn't sound like much if you're doing, you know, a 50-mile flight, but when you're going to be flying 8,000 nautical miles from Argentina or from Alaska to Argentina, that is going to make a difference in the long run. Absolutely. I mean, I see, and depending on the pressure out there, a little bit different. So like at 20,000 feet, you know, it's 10 knots there, 15 knots there. But at high altitudes, 30,000 feet, 165 versus 186, that's 21 knots. That's 21 knot difference in the Grand Duke. So you're pretty much getting Turbine Duke speeds with that. Turbine mainly benefits high temp and altitude. Nabil, yeah, so that Turbine Duke, the biggest plus to that Turbine Duke is you're pretty much, you could take density altitude and you can just shove it out the window because you're going to have so much performance that your short field performance is going to be exceptional no matter what you load. I mean, you'll be over gross weight and still be climbing out extremely well. That's going to be your best different. That's going to be the largest difference. The turbine, you got to think about it. The Turbine Duke is a conversion, right? So it wasn't designed to be a turboprop. So you're not going to be getting these insane cruise speeds and mostly just cruise speeds because the airframe is still the same. You're still going to have some structural limits. You're going to have additional structural limits with the increased torque on the PT6s. So it's really like I don't want to say it's a waste of money, but it's kind of like if you just have that much money that you'd like, let's just throw some PT6s on a Turbine Duke. It's because you can. You know, there's really, I think you'd be hard-pressed to sell somebody a Turbine Duke over a Grand Duke for performance. Just performance solely. It would have to be like, yeah, I want a PT6 because I want a PT6. That's why you would do it. Because the Grand Duke here with the winglets and enhanced performance is going to give you very close speeds to that Turbine Duke. In real life paperwork, Cam soon. I know. Well, I need a IRL. I need a knee pad, man, or like a knee board rather. I need a knee board. While we're finally stabilizing here, a beautiful view, let's go over the rest of the rules for our journey. I don't know why I can't send this text message. This is driving me nuts. I'm trying to send a text out, and I can't because I have no service in my office. You throwing anything on a smoker today? No, Bill, yes. So we're doing something different today. I'm going to my other buddy's house. So I normally like to just do a big thing at our place, but they're Chiefs fans, and they have a farm that has my kids love going over there to see the horses and stuff, and their grandkids are coming over. So we're going to take our kids and head over there. It's my fishing buddy. We got a fishing tournament next Saturday anyway, so it'll be fun to hang out over there. I'm going to bring appetizers. So the only thing I'm going to throw, I'm throwing a tri-tip on the smoker after this stream, but I'm doing a tri-tip appetizer that I'm going to bring. So I'm going to have smoked tri-tip and chimichurri skewers is what we're doing. So, starting to get a little bit of chop. Not much to look at down there. I'm sure glad I got two in. Okay, you can see here. Look at my Nav 1 CDI. We've almost completely lost it. Almost completely lost it here. Turn down some of these lights here. Engine radio stacked down a little bit. I love the lighting. Lighting in this Duke is awesome. Attention V1 Sim, I would like to hire you as my private pilot. Hey man, I'm there. You got a Duke? I thought I was fancy doing jalapeno poppers. I love a good jalapeno popper too. I know ground speed doesn't really count, but yesterday I hit 378 ground speed in the Grand and 411 on descent. That's awesome, man. Yeah. The speeds on this thing, the Grand Duke is great. It is a hell of an airplane, especially when you consider its age. Like when they designed this is kind of like this had to be what, 60s? Is that too early? It's got to be later in the 60s, right? When was the Grand Duke first introduced? I feel like this airplane was designed kind of around the same time that they were making airplanes for performance and making them for pilots, like the 727, the 757, 76, Now, this was before gas was expensive and all that, and it was expensive to fly. This one, gas is cheap, roll some coal, build a fast airplane with good performance, and put some massively overpowered engines on it. 1978? Okay, so that sounds about right. What are your thoughts on the Piaggio Ronin? It looks great, man. If it drops into 24, I will probably give it a try. The only reason I'll say it's the only reason, but the main reason I'm intrigued in that Piaggio is because I like that ProLine 21 system they have modeled. It looks pretty good. I did fly some ProLine 21 stuff, so having a decent ProLine 21 cockpit would be cool. As far as the airplane, it doesn't excite me as a real airplane, but I would definitely look at it when it hits 24. I'm not going to purchase it for 2020, though, right now. I'm not that interested. Abdullah, just saw the trailer? Nice, man. Yeah, so that was a courtesy of Nabil, Aviation Films. Absolutely. We got to go over a couple other things here, some semantics. Hopefully y'all read everything by now. VFD dropping the 10 gifted memberships. VFD, thank you so much, man, for the 10 gifted memberships here. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate the support. Good turnout today on a Sunday. We normally don't stream on Sundays, let alone Super Bowl Sunday. 30 new members gifted to the channel, couple subscribers. Thank you all in Suarez, I saw you subscribe too. But thank you again, Virtual Flight Diaries, for the 10 gifted memberships. I do a shot of coffee every time I hear the word Duke. You're going to be jacked up then. Yeah, I think we're fine. I wasn't necessarily concerned about the ice. It's just because the Duke, especially the Grand Duke here, you can definitely handle icing situations, but I was more concerned about like a Microsoft's icing scenario where like Microsoft is saying I've been severe ice when we're not visually. But, you know, to be fair, we've been flying the Duke in some icing conditions before, and we've seen it. You know, we flew it into was a Telluride. It actually handled that was a turbine Duke, but we saw it accumulate, so we know it has ice accumulation, so I guess we don't really need to freak out unless we see ice. Oh, wow. Look at this view, though. This is incredible. The sun's starting to rise. Oh, my goodness. Fly USMC, my man, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships as well. I know you wanted to fly along, hopefully on the next one, USMC. Well, we look forward to having you on the next one, my friend. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, sir. Appreciate you. What do I need to do to get my Dukes in 24? Russ D. So here's the thing with the Dukes. They are not officially supported in 2024. The way Just Flight installs these aircraft is it has to install into 2020. All right? So if you don't have 2020 installed, I don't know how you would be able to get them in 2024. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. Maybe there's a forum post, because that would be a concern. You have to have 2020 installed, because what I did is I installed it to 2020, and then I just dragged that community folder Duke into the community folder of 2024, and it seems to work just fine, knock on wood. Now, again, they're not officially supported. Don't expect support or refunds or anything like that. We've just been fortunate that they do seem to be working pretty well with the drag and drop method. So, happy Super Bowl Day, V1 Nation. Hey, appreciate you, Skyfall. 26 months of support, dude. Really, really appreciate you. I heard you can create a fake community folder to try to trick the installer. Ooh, that's a good idea, Fred. All right, so if you are watching this in replay or you're here live and you don't have 2020 installed, how to get it installed, I'm sure there's probably some topics on some forums. It sounds like potentially making a fake community folder, you'd be able to get it installed. So I'm sure there's going to be some workaround. Are the exhausts still glowing? Yeah, but the red is fading because the sun is coming up, so it's getting lighter outside. So you wouldn't see red exhaust in broad daylight, right? Unless it was really, really hot, I guess. But it looks like the colors are kind of matching as the sun comes up. That's just so cool, man. It's so cool, too. We got this little America's Tour logo. No airliner today? Nah, man, we're flying real airplanes today. I've noticed these Dukes are prone to windshield icing, and Microsoft accumulates incredibly quick, likely a Microsoft issue. That's what we did get some ice, but you should be able to shed it. You do have window heat, so. How do I get this livery? Unfortunately, this livery is a V1 exclusive livery. It was a custom livery from Whiskey Throttle. If I were to have a Duke, I would have it painted in this exact livery, so. Create a copy of the app data roaming folder from 24s20. It will install normally. Ooh, there you go. See, all right, so it looks like there are workarounds, which is good. So if you don't have 2020, it looks like there are workarounds. Yeah, there's a couple other little nifty things in this livery, too, that I love. Custom stuff, like the carpets and stuff. Oh, Wingnut's in the house. Late getting here. Tried out the Duke last night. Pretty nice add-on. Gonna have to get the TBM now. Oh, boy. See? Okay, so Wingnut, the answer then, the question. What do you like better, the Duke or your Dow's, Cows, whatever it is, diamond that you bought. Because you were telling me that there's no way the Duke is better than that thing. Let's see. We've already converted Zach Lewine, who was a A2A Comanche enjoyer, and he now is in agreement that the Duke is superior. Let's see if we have Wingnut converted. Happy Sunday, Zachary Contrabasso, my man. Good to see you. Welcome in. Glad to have you here, Zach. Happy Sunday indeed, my friend. Happy Sunday. Ain't nothing better than the Duke. Dougal McTavish, I agree with you, my friend. 100%, dude. Winglet says, since you're digging, the Cow's engine model is more accurate. Poppycock. How so? This is little ISP trying to bring down big ISP here. He's spreading false information. How is it more accurate? I'm actually curious. I thought this engine model is pretty good. I don't have the Cows only for one reason, and that's I don't particularly like G1000s. Y'all know that. But I've heard a lot of good things, and I may end up picking it up to give it a shot. I had a weird thing, and the fuel flow went up as I pulled the mixture back. Okay, are you sure your axis wasn't inverted? What's that? But is online. Hello from the coast of Brazil. Speed bump for buses. Hope the icing is fun. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Speedbird 247 checking in from above. Resident speed bump for buses. Good deal, man. This is an incredible view here. We should probably see what our... Okay, so we're still tracking. We're looking good. We are 200 miles out. What's our DME 2? Nav 2 is 87 miles. So we just lost Nav 1. Look at that. We just lost our Nav 1. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put Nav 2 to active. I got a couple super chats. I'll get to those in just a second. Let's try this out. So 16.0, we need to be 135 inbound. Is that right? 135. Let me double check my chart. Our normal inbound is, yes, 315, so 2 be 135. Okay, so yeah, we want to find the 135. That was our radial. But we want to try our waypoint nav. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to switch this to RNAV. And we're going to move this to RNAV. And we're going to see if we can't nav out to our waypoint, which it seems like we're struggling. Let's come a little left. So right now our RNAV waypoint is 43 miles away. I'm going to keep this on 135. Well, this might make sense because we're right of course. So we were right of course initially, and our new RNAV waypoint is left of our original course. So it would make sense that we got to set up more of an intercept here. So let's fly the gauges. This is good test. We brought a little extra fuel for this. This is what we want to be tracking inbound if we get lost. Let's go ahead and set that up. I'm going to take a quick look, give myself an approximate heading. It was about 133 from the airway. So we're going to fly this, and we're going to see if we can't intercept this for testing purposes here. We're testing our RNAV system out. All right. All right, I got a lot to get to. I appreciate all the support. What do we got? Let's go with Steven. Came in first with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you. Who you got for the game later today? And please let it be the Chiefs. Because you curse whoever you root for. Okay, well, I'm pulling for the Eagles, which is really hard to do because I can't stand the Eagles and Eagles fans. Although I say that, and I know some Eagles fans that are actually really cool. Shaq Oatmeal. Who else is an Eagles fan? I flew with an Eagles fan. So I'm going to pull for the Eagles, and mostly because I want to see Saquon. I think Saquon should have been the NFL MVP. but it's a quarterback rate. It's a quarterback status thing. So I'm pulling for the Eagles. But my prediction, Chiefs win in Chiefs fashion. Last minute drive, aided by a suspect penalty. Because they want to have the three-peat. Travis Kelce's going to marry Taylor Swift, and that's going to be a thing right off into the sunset. Next super chat. Appreciate y'all. I'm playing catch up here. Migs, thank you for the 14 Canadian, my friend. Good question. Originally from Diabetic Lag. If you didn't have a GPS signal but had a weak VOR signal, could you track in heading? Absolutely, Migs. So now, keep in mind, if you have a true GPS, not with the information that we have today with our KNS, okay? If you had a true GPS, like a 430 or a 530, absolutely. And a matter of fact, even flying without a GPS, I would frequently fly twin pistons and freight in heading mode because the reception far out, it oscillates a little bit. These gauges do simulate the attenuation and stiction. Listen, so you can tap on the glass to unstick the needles. So in real life, sometimes those things happen as well. So it's easier to just fly in heading mode so you're not S-turning up and down the airway the whole way. Remember, the airway is what, like 16 miles wide in route, or is it 8 miles? I can't remember. The airway is actually pretty wide. We're so focused on being super tight into the airway all the time when we're flying Airbus and airliners, because those are highly precise aircraft. And they have highly precise forms of navigation. But when you're just doing straight up VOR nav, yeah, absolutely, fly in heading mode with the autopilot on so you don't S-turn all the way down. And then as that signal gets a little bit better, then you can nav it inbound. So, absolutely. And Wingnut also dropped 5 gifted memberships. That must be because he agrees with us now that the Duke is the GOAT of all airplanes. I am slightly concerned at... Oh! I think I did my math wrong. This is woof. Okay. I think we need to have it like that. We're 27 miles out. Uh-oh. I think I did my math wrong. But Wigna, again, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, man. I appreciate you. I was trying to see if you responded about the engine model. Fuel flow went up. No, I think that was opposite. I love the iPad in this airplane with the engine visualization. Yeah, it's really cool. It is cool. All right, so he doesn't have an official answer for why the engine is better other than his bindings are reversed. So it sounds like a 2020 issue to me. Thanks again, though, man. Appreciate the 5 gifted memberships. All right, so we do have a bit of a problem here. We do have a bit of a problem here. I think I did the math wrong. Let me set my OBS2 to the station. Okay, so right now we are passing the 140 radial. Let's bring up, this is good we learned this now because it's VFR and we have extra fuel. When we actually need this equipment, we got to make sure we know what we're doing. So we're passing the 140 radial inbound, which is really the, 320 radial off of this Bettles VOR. So 320 is about here. So we might be right, actually. We might be okay. So we're approximately here. But what I don't understand is why my RNAV shows 16.0, 343 radial outbound at 74 miles. What's the outbound radial? 343. So we would actually have to set 343 here, right? Oh, Oh boy. Okay, like that. Maybe? And intentionally reverse sense ourselves? Or spin this around to 163. I think this needs to be a 163. This needs to be a 163. Okay, that looks right. We need to check our EFB. I think we're fine. Yeah, we are actually. We're just not far enough left of course. We're kind of tracking it. What's our distance? Nav 1 DME is 53 miles. So we're 53 miles from the VOR. We already passed it. Yeah, we already passed it. That's the problem. Dang, okay, so we already passed it. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Take a screenshot. We passed our waypoint, our airport. I think it's back there. Migs. Okay, let's just get back nav to the VOR like we're supposed to. Let's put you back on nav 1, our regular nav mode, direct 2. Let's join up. Because our waypoint was 74 miles from the VOR. We joined too late. So everything was right. We did everything right. I tried to turn too late. That's on me. So we flew past it. That's all right. We're going to nav in. We got a good signal. Let's activate nav. And let's enjoy this. Let me get to that super chat because that is an amazing view. We'll do a screenshot there. I got to take screenshots along the way. Oh, map's still on screen. Thank you, Pro Streamer. See, why can't I have SkyVector on the EFB? Then I wouldn't have to do that. Migs, thank you for the 6 Canadian, man. Appreciate you. I think I did my math wrong. Is that not what we want to hear over the middle of Alaska Berry? No, 100%. We don't want to hear that. I love my screenshot with SkyVector view. Okay, we're all right. We're navin' 2. So what happened is, I'll show you on this. So what happened, y'all, is the airport, I think, was over here. And I tried to nav over to that RNAV waypoint too late. So the gauges were telling me to make a left turn, which is correct. All right, we just flew faster than I thought. We're cooking. So that's on me. I think we did it right. We just flew too fast, and I didn't set up the intercept in time to fly over to that RNAV waypoint. So that's on me. Math was done correctly, and 250-hour move because I just forgot to nav. We were too close into the VOR. We were at 50 miles. Our waypoint was at 73. All right. See, what had happened was... Wigna, thanks for the $5 super chat. Wait a minute. Where's the administrator? We're referencing the EFB moving Mac. Wasn't this VOR? We have FlightAware on our iPads. We could use the moving map. Why can't we use that moving map? Should we not be able to use the moving map? The administrator allowed it. I talked to the administrator this morning. Wait, is there a way to disable my position? Because if there is, I'll do it. Can I disable my position on the map? I'll do that, like legit. I'm okay. I like using the map because you guys can see it and I can see it at the same time, so I don't leave it on the screen like SkyVector. If I can turn my position off here, I'll do it. VOR only. We are VOR only. We're navin' VORs. Eddie, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board. We overfly waypoints now. Mickey G. That looks incredible, though. Does magnetic deviation play into this? No, because remember, everything that we fly is in magnetic. So if you're tracking a radial, you're flying in a mag heading, so it's not gonna. That's the whole variation. That is really for planning. You know, paperwork stuff is in, what is it, true? But everything we fly is in magnetic. Just like you talk about AGL versus MSL altitudes. Everything you hear as a pilot is in MSL. No, AGL. Like the clouds in the ATIS, okay? That's in AGL. Same like true on paper, magnetic in the airplane. We fly magnetic, and we also, our clouds need to be above ground level. Because if you're landing at, if you're landing up at, what is it, Bogota, and they say, overcast 500, that's 500 AGL. It's not 500 MSL, because if it was 500 MSL, that'd be below the ground. Should I get 24? Endurance? I love it. There are a lot of people that give it flack. Wingnut's one of them. A lot of people don't like 24. It's bit me, man. I'm in love with it. I think it runs better. Well, maybe not runs better. 2020 is pretty optimized for my system as well, but everything's more, I don't know, it's just more fluent in 24. So I'm hooked. I've got the bug for 24, but there are other people that disagree strongly. Do I prefer GA over airliners? Absolutely, Shakovic. Absolutely. This is the most fun I've had flying in like 2 weeks of streaming. All right, we don't need the panel lights anymore. We'll save our batteries. Oh, why do I still... What's the default pilot light? I need to turn that thing off. I don't want to pull out my settings menu. It's like... It's not left control L. It's like left control F or something. Somebody tell me what the default pilot light view is. And why we look at that. It's not left alt L. That would be that would make sense. It's something F. Left alt F. Thank you. Left alt F. That sounds right. Yep. Thank you. Oh, maybe we do need a little bit of light. Oh, hold on. This nav strobe. I tell you what. What if we go all white and no red? There we go. Just give us a little bit of lighting. I love the lighting setup in this airplane. Gosh, I don't know where to look. I almost want to do 2 legs in the Duke, but I got stuff to do today. I decided to fly this leg in 2020. Your lighting with the sunrise looks better to you. Really, Tanner? All right, well, there you go. We also need to think about our descent planning. Off of the VOR, we need to track let's see, radial 169 outbound, so we're pretty much there. 169 will be our outbound radial, and then 16.6 will be our next VOR after that. Now what I need to do is we're going to set up the airport on an RNAV waypoint. So let's do that together. I'll show you how we're going to do that. So the airport is located 2 miles. Well, we could just use the VOR. That won't make sense. I was going to say we could just set up a RNAV waypoint, which we'll do it. So let's use waypoint 3 on our KNS 80. Let me bring the screen down here so somehow we can see both of it. There we go. So we're going to use waypoint 3, and it's going to be the 16.6 frequency. So data over, we're going to go 16.6. All right. Data over. And the radial for the airport is going to be identified at 076 at 2 miles. So 076, data over, distance 2 miles. Use. All right, so that's going to be set up. I won't be able to pick it up now if I were to flip into RNAV because we're not tracking 16.6. So we're going to leave you in NAV1 DME. We're 15 miles out, 265 over the ground. But we'll have that as a little backup as we get closer. So that is set. And let's find ourselves another good view here off the dashboard. And let's get rid of the sky vector. I just looked at the map. I'm leaving V1 in the dust, 300 knots over the ground on TBM. What's your altitude? Are you higher than me too, 24? I think TBM's definitely faster though. TBM's faster. Am I going to go to the expos here? Medicaid, that is the plan, my man. That is the plan. Definitely trying to. Which is better? I love them like twins. If you can't get both, and you don't know which one to get, if you can't get the bundle, I'd say go with the piston. Because you actually get two airplanes with the piston. You get the Grand Duke and then you get the Standard Duke. The turbine, you just get the turbine. So, but they're twins to me, man. I love them both equally. Key 6, good morning. Nice of you to join us. Hope you slept in well. What happens to your RNAV waypoint when you're in the cone of silence? Or cone of confusion? Then the data will be inaccurate as well. So it's restricted. It wouldn't really. I mean, if you think about it, it wouldn't matter, Matavius, because if your RNAV, that would have to mean that your RNAV waypoint was the VOR for it to matter. So remember, you have to have the active VOR signal for it to work. As long as you have the active VOR signal working, it'll be fine. But if you program, you can't really program the waypoint, I mean, to be the VOR, right? Because you have to program a radial and a distance from the VOR. You see where I'm getting at? Now, if you have it preemptively set up and you haven't crossed over the VOR yet, then yeah, that data is going to be inaccurate until you get an accurate reading from the VOR signal. So say you're tracking outbound, or say you're tracking the 180 radial to the VOR, and your airport distance that you set up, you said, I want to fly to the 180 radial at 15 DME, that's my RNAV waypoint, it will be accurate after you pass over the VOR. But yeah, garbage in, garbage out. No sleeping, been cleaning. My brother's coming over to watch the halftime show. Oh, geez. Do you have a charity in mind already for potential engine repair donations? Migs, I do. I'm trying to figure out how I can set it up so it can be a separate thing through YouTube. So I don't have to... So basically, so YouTube doesn't take the donations from it. I'm trying to get like a direct setup. I'm hoping I don't need engine repair until until I get that figured out. All right, 169. We just went over the cone of confusion, so 169 is set. Let's heading over to the right a little bit. We'll join this outbound. Man. This is like Alaska, the Last Frontier, right? Is that where they film this stuff? Where do they film Alaska, the Last Frontier? I love, and I mean, it's Boris Audio Works, but I mean the sound cone, or how the sounds shift depending on where you're viewing. Look at our exhaust stack, so you can see that they're warm up there, but it's not just like a texture set where it's just bright red when the engine's on. You can actually see the dynamic heating of the exhaust. That's just really cool. This is the Alaska you only see once unless you really know what you're doing out there. Oh yeah, I believe that. All right, 169 radial is set. We're going to track you outbound. We'll re-engage nav. Nav is on. Let's go ahead and throw in the airport VOR 16.6 and nav 2. Let's see if we are getting a signal. So theoretically, we could RNAV to our airport. So right now, we are 97 miles from our airport. And we are we're 9 miles from the first VOR, which makes sense because we just flew over the VOR. We're 9 miles from the VOR that we're tracking, but because I set up the RNAV waypoint, we're 95 miles. Nav 2, 95.5, 95.3. You can see it's real close in because there is a slant range error with the DME2, and it's about 2 miles. So that would make sense that they would show the same because you have the slant range error of the first of Nav2 DME. Very interesting. Love it. I'm learning how to use this too, so this is cool. Now I'm actually, what if we just nav? Let's try navving straight to it. Well, technically we're IFR, but there's nobody online. So for testing purposes, we'll turn the panel lights off. For testing purposes, let's go heading mode. Let's flip you back to RNAV. Let's engage nav. So now we are navving to our RNAV waypoint. Let's see how this turns out. Vodka, you're gonna make it? Where? Since we talked a lot about navigation, I was thinking it would be cool to do some VFR landmarks. Oh yeah, absolutely, John. And here's the thing: we've got over 8,000 miles to go, and a little under 4,000 miles until we can get an actual Garmin device installed on our aircraft. So there will be some times where we're just going to have to fly VFR. And here's the other thing. So let's go over the rules real quick. I kind of touched on them a little bit, but the everything has to be flown in real time, real weather. So I actually was doing some flight planning last night for this, and that's when I checked weather. It says clear skies, beautiful. But if there becomes an issue with the weather, we're going to have to plan as we would real world, with maybe some exceptions, maybe allowing scud running and stuff to get the job done. But I really want to try to keep this whole series as realistic as possible, with an asterisk of keeping Barry Seal in mind and what you got to do to get the job done. So we might take some exceptional risks that I wouldn't take in real life, but we're not going to do anything egregious. Like, we're not going to take off 10,000 pounds overweight on a short runway at 110 degrees outside, because that's just asking. That's for Barry Seal logistics, all right? This is the prequel. This is 1917 to Yellowstone. So, plus I think it doesn't guarantee that every flight is going to be super exciting, but as we move through the series of flights here, the completion factor and the protecting of everything that we've done is going to be playing strong in each subsequent flight that we do. So, but like for instance, let's say there's low clouds over terrain and our navigation is not capable. Well, then we might have to go out over the water, fly low level, or fly a vector, plan around it, or we may have to take a weather delay. So I really want to try to keep it as close to realistic as we can, with some of those exceptions in mind. All right, we also have to think about our top of descent here. Man, this stream went by so fast. We got to fly longer. I'm sad. I don't want to stop flying now. Maybe we'll do leg 2 tomorrow. Let's see. What is our field elevation in the destination? Let's go back here. PATA. 261. So 261, so let's just call it 1,000 feet. We're 24, that's 23 times 3, that's 69. We'll call it 70 for math. We'll add 20 miles for stage cooling. That's 80 miles. That means we need to start stage cooling right now. So here we go. Let's start bringing it back. 34, we're going to come back to 32. And we're going to descend to 20 just to start us down. We're still a little bit early, but we're gonna start down, vacate to flight level 200, and we'll also get the chrono running for this. Chrono's on. All right, down we go. I'll pull out my descent checklist here. Descent, cabin altitude goal, set destination altitude. So we know we want to start trickling down. We're going going to set 20 for now. We're going to come back to that. 20 set. Nose it down. Cow flaps are closed, throttle reduced, mixture enriching, engine performance monitor, cylinder head temp 125C minimum. We don't want to shock cool. So as long as we stay above 125C, we should be good. And that's, yeah, bottom of the green. So we are plenty good there. Nose and over. Let's go in for 1,000. Now, smooth air, we can exceed 210, so we can go into the yellow arc here. We're going to be really cooking now. Look at that. We are navving with RNAV, old school RNAV. Funny that these high-performance piston engines can be a much bigger workload than something like an airliner. Oh, I know, dude. Especially since you can fly these single pilot. Absolutely. We always said when I flew freight, man, we had, at the time they had, well, the Lear was an exception, but of all the other airplanes, the Chieftain was the highest workload airplane. You got into the beach and it was like, okay, it's PT6, it's easy. Power up, power down, no stage cooling, auto feather. You know, it was a lot less to manage than flying around with turbocharged piston engines and dealing with being left high and dealing with stage cooling and all that. So there's another 2. Let's go back to 30. Came up a little bit there. Give it a little crack of the mixture enriching. There we go. Down we go. We're going to need to pick this up here at some point. We actually started a little bit late on this descent. But that's okay because we got some terrain we're dealing with too. Why are my gauges frosty? I don't think they're frosty. Might just be the reflection, the sun coming up, starting to see the dust on them. You can see look at that. You can see the glasses. I need some Windex. Who's got some Windex for my gauges? It's just the way the sun is reflecting off of them. Banana traffic on 22.9. Is that what we need to be on? 22.9? Let's see. Weather frequencies. 122.9. A Tanana. Tanana 122.9. As we descend, you see that manifold's creeping up. Oh, that might be my Bravo walking a little bit. We'll keep it at 30. There we go. Another 30 seconds. That's close enough. Let's bring it on back another 2 inches. 28. Enriching. Increase rate of descent. Let's keep spinning that altitude down. I need to know what the minimum altitude is down here. Let's see. If I look at a VFR sectional, down to 4 is safe. So we'll set 4 because that's safe for right now. 4,000 is safe. How's our fuel? You can see there is a little bit of issue, the reflection there from 2020-24, but fuel is good. Looking good. Pressurization. We don't want to become a submarine. So, oops. Let's go ahead and set landing elevation now. Right there. Pick up that rate a little bit. All right. Down we go. It's not a touch screen. Oh my gosh, another screenshot. Aero enlaces. Shakovic, going back to your question. Yeah, I did. I just moved it over from 2020 folder to 2024. You're right, Fred. I think we should do Leg 2 tomorrow, maybe. Maybe we'll double up tomorrow. What's tomorrow? I feel like I had to do something tomorrow. It's important. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. Oh, I got to pick up. Ooh, I got to pick up my my can that's in jail. So I think we could still stream. We might do 2 streams. We'll satisfy the airliner folks tomorrow. Somebody sent me a modified FT Sim that said it was working, so I'm going to try to get FT Sim working again. If I get it working, we'll do MD80. If not, we'll be back in the... What if we fly the fly-by-wire? Either fly-by-wire or the 319. And then in the PM, we'll do leg 2 of the of this tour. Do leg 2 this afternoon, nothing going on. Yeah, other than the Super Bowl. Oh, wow, it's been 6 minutes, so we're good on that. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Now, I believe below 24 inches, we would consider stage-cooled as long as you didn't do an additional shock cooling. You can see we're well above the 125 limitation, so we are good to keep pulling it back. Distance out is 50 miles. Generally speaking, 10,000 and 30 at 250 knots is good to be, is a good spot to be, so we're looking like we're going to be pretty much right there. Be a little bit high, but that's okay. We're in a piston, so we can chop and drop them as we get completely cooled off here. Dom Pellegrino, my man, a $20 super chat. The V22 Osprey man is in the house. What's up, man? Compared to 2020, how's the hardware software optimization? Notice any improvements or drawbacks? Dom, you know what, man? First off, thanks for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate you. That's a tough one to answer because I've been hearing both sides of the spectrum. Like for some folks, depending on their system, 2020 runs great and 24 is unplayable. And I've heard the opposite. I've heard 24 is running really good on some folks' machines and 2020 is okay, or like it runs better than 2020. In my personal experience, my 2020 was pretty smooth and pretty well optimized. But 2024 feels more fluid to me in terms of just the sim. Now, the binding and all that stuff is a whole nother issue. But I really, short of having to stream everything, that's the biggest drawback, I think, for most, is if you don't have unlimited bandwidth or a high-speed connection, then I think it's going to be more of a negative for 24 because you have to stream the whole sim, which is unfortunate. But thanks again for the $20 super chat, man. I'm sure there'll be a couple. We might get some answers in the chat. But
Delta Kilo. We're 20 miles to the north for runway 07. It's going to be the VOR runway 7 via the procedure turn.
Procedure turn. Oh, geez, there's an approach in here. Okay, 080 at 7, gust 18, 3052. 3052, I guess we got to actually look at a chart here. Let's go to PATA approaches. We have to do the VOR 7. Ooh. Wait, is that us or that's another traffic out there? Let's just go direct too. We don't need to do the VOR DME. We're going direct too. We'll join a left downwind for runway 7. Banana traffic, November 357 Bravo Sierra. At a 16-4 descending. About 38 miles to the north. We're going to set up for a visual approach runway 07, banana traffic. It is gusty though. Good thing we practiced in Sedona. Oh yeah, the Xbox UI. Well, Wingnut, I think even 2020 is. I think both of them are terrible. What's crazy is, the 2024 binding setup, once you do it the way it's supposed to be done, it's better than 2020 because you no longer have to change profiles anytime that you change airplanes. As long as you set it up properly from the main menu and you save and configure the airframe the first time you download a new airframe or buy a new airplane, then it works better. Deleting stuff is easier. It shows you double binds, which is nice. However, getting your head around how the user interface works in 2024 is just, it's painful. I mean, I dogged on it for days after it came out. I still think it's terrible. But you have to understand that once you do it right, it's way better than 2020 because in 2020, especially if you have a lot of hardware, man, if I went from flying the 737 to the 320, I would have to go to settings and change 15 different hardware profiles to be A320 or B737. And then you'd have some double profiles for some. But it's better in the long run, but it's a pain to set up, man. Everyone's setting up for the DME-7. I'm going to overfly the field and make right traffic for 7 because we're going to test the accuracy of our RNAV. So I'm going to overfly. We'll set 3,000, so we'll stay high. I think pattern will be 1,000. So we're going to stay high, so we'll stay clear of conflicting traffic. I want a nav directly to. So if I put, so 16.6, that's our, this is the VOR that they're going to be shooting approaches off of here on my nav 2. But we're testing our nav navigation setup that we have. All right, so we can pull it back 2 more inches. We are officially stage cooled. We're extra cool now. We're being extra good to our engines. We can go ahead and reset the chrono down there. I love that this is functional. This is, you know what I want? I don't know if vodka's still here. I want this yoke or a Beechcraft style yoke for force feedback. Because I think Beechcraft is one of the best like yokes when you fly a Beechcraft. When you get in a Beechcraft, whether it's a 99, a King Air, 99 is a little bit suspect, but it's still better than other things. But like, just think of a King Air. A King Air yoke is so nice. It's I could go on and describe it, and then y'all say phrasing, but it's just a nice yoke. So I think it'd be a good all-around GA yoke if somebody modeled some sort of Beechcraft yoke for force feedback, and then have some type of airliner yoke, like a generic 7.3 yoke, to swap out. Vodka's gone low fuel. How much fuel did he take? It will amaze me that Microsoft devs don't know what the drop-down selection is. Well, Swarm, you know why that is? It's because it's for, you can't use drop-down menus for console. That's why. You hear those turbos spooling. So you can't use a drop-down style menu in Microsoft. That's why there are 0 drop-down style menus. It's literally set up for console interface. Took whatever weight was available after filing the payload. Man. I bet you, I wonder what your fuel burn was. We're doing pretty good. We'll have to check. I don't want to bring out the tablet unless we're doing teaching off the tablet. The tablet's kind of cheat mode, you know. Keep the tablet parked in flight. This leg wasn't long enough to do propeller dynamics and piston, which we'll do at maybe the next one we'll do. Drop-down menus world map in 2020? I don't even see what's crazy. I haven't been in 2020 so long. I don't even know what you're referring to. A drop-down menu in the world map in 2020. Drop-down menu. I don't know. Is it in 2024 too? I'm still salty that I can't change airplanes without reloading the sim. What do you mean? In 2024?
Traffic, November 1337 Sierra, flying the VOR, make a right.
You can. You absolutely can without reloading the sim. You have to go back to main menu. Is that what you're saying? We can't go back to main menu? Dude, that's been a thing since FSX. And actually, if you do dev mode, you don't have to go back to main menu. It just doesn't guarantee that everything's going to work. Oh, when you pick your departure airport, you're right. Yeah. But then those are super laggy. What's funny, Flight Sim School, in my opinion, even in 24, that's
traffic,
the worst menu.
November 254 Delta Kilo.
Is selecting the departure arrival.
Conducting the procedure turn around my
It seems super laggy to me. It seems super laggy for me. Maybe it's just my rig, but the only drop-down menus we have are my least favorite ones. All right, all the lights are coming on. Strobe, nav, beacon, recog is on. Banana traffic 357 Bravo Sierra, 17 miles to the north out of 9,500. We're going to overfly at 3,000, then we're going to set up right downwind for runway 07. Banana traffic. Felix says my prop governor just left the chat. Uh-oh. Gusting 20. There we go. All right, so one quick note about maintenance. Now, I know we got a lot of viewers here, so this is a disclosure. If we have a mechanical issue prior to takeoff and I deem that it is a no-go item, we have a minimum maintenance delay of 1 hour. So we could all cancel plans, be ready to fly. And if we taxi out to the run-up and our governor's not working, or we have a no fuel or something, some issue that would be considered a no-go item, we have a minimum of 1 hour maintenance delay, and whatever the part is, though, if we can Google like what an approximate repair time would be, like what the work order would be, say, well, you can change this in 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then we could do a shorter delay. But that's a disclosure. Also, if something fails in flight, we are not able to reset that failure unless it's a breaker and we're doing like a checklist item or something, but we're not able to reset any failures in flight. They can only be done after a safe landing. Maintenance minutes, there you go, exactly. Maddie K, thank you so much, man, for a $5 super chat. New METAR PATA's 07013 gust 20, 10 miles clear, minus 22. Oh my word, it is cold. All right, thank you, Maddie K, for the $5 super chat. Got our METAR in. New meter is 3052, which we've got set. We're looking good. 10 miles out, we're 7,000. Let's increase that rate of descent a little more. Let's come back to about 20 inches. Increase just a hair on the fuel. We'll leave the props set where they are. We are looking good. We should start seeing banana up here pretty soon. You know what's crazy? Listen to that turbo. Since we're not demanding high power, you can just hear it kind of whistling there. I love that. Love that. So this will also tell us how accurate our RNAV is. We're 3 minutes out, 183 knots, 9 miles. Our DME2 is 9.2. We're 9.0. Start looking for the field. So I'm going to run this. I'm running nav2 towards the VOR. So the VOR is a direct line 180. See, we're just a hair off course, so it's just to our right. This is not really a good example because it's so close to the VOR that you might as well just fly the VOR, you know. I'm gonna put us in heading mode. I'm gonna come just a hair to the left here. Try to center up that needle just a tad. You can see there's definitely a difference though between our RNAV waypoint and the VOR. So we did do it right. Here's the VOR right here. It's pointing to VOR2 should be at our 1230. And the field should be right here, actually. That should be the field. And I think the VOR is over here. So that is pretty darn accurate when you look at it. What if we get a bird strike? We got to do what we got to do. Now, oh, I never reset the rudder pedals, y'all. Not good. Not good. I never set the rudder pedals. Can I do a quick fix? How would I keep those from rolling backwards? F it. We're just going to have to use differential braking and smoke our brakes. Not good. Let me get flight recorder up. I can't hear you on 22.9. Let me double check. Make sure my transmit's on. Oh, my push-to-talk's not working. That's weird. I don't know why my push-to-talk's not working. I think it's a V-pilot issue. So V-pilot. Look at that. There's our waypoint right there. Look at that. Right over the field. Look at that. Jacob, welcome to Private Pilot and Aviation Dude 95. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man. When you get into the Caribbean, should not stop in TQP. I feel it's cheaper than St. Martin. All right, Aviation Dude. We'll keep that in mind, my man. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Look at that. Perfect. The VOR is right over here somewhere. Is it on an island? I actually don't know where the VOR is. All right, let's go ahead and continue down. Why is my push-to-talk not working? Let me see if I can change it real quick here.
Traffic, November 254 Delta Kilo, we're inbound runway 12 DME.
I can't I can't change it. But we're gonna be that guy. We're just gonna enter without we're gonna enter without radio calls. We'll keep listening though. So we're turning a right downwind for 7. Now what we can do is we know it's 076, so let's go back to old school now. Let's go 16.6. Let's set up the 076 radial as a runway reference. 076. We're going to proceed downwind 2,500. Let's make it 1,500. 1,500 feet. We're overflying on the downwind. Flix, can you give me a position report? How far out are you? Oh, I see him. I see him. No, I don't. I thought I saw somebody right there. Might have just been. Yep, it's dirt on my monitor. Disregard. I don't see anybody on final. Let's go ahead and slow it up. Below 171, we can go ahead and go flaps approach, which is right at that triangle. All right, make sure cabin is coming down. Pressurization looks good. All right, cabin off. Vent blower could stay on. That looks good. Lights are set. We don't need those. Let's start the recording. And flaps approach. Keep us level, get the trim in there, and sounds are coming up. Let's do this. They're doing procedure turn. All right, so we should be okay. Come down to 1,000 feet. 140 on the speed. We're looking good. I don't know why the push-to-talk stopped working. Keep your eye out for traffic. I'm trying to stay below their approaches or the procedure turn. Now what's cool is I can actually go back to, go back, keep it in RNAV.
November drop, like November 254 Delta Kilo at 8 DME, runway 1, crash, runway 7.
Okay, so we're actually, they're 8 DME, so that would be off N2, we're 2 miles. So we're actually inside of everybody, so we're landing first. All right, so we got the right of way. We're inside of them. They're on that procedure turn behind us. That worked out good. Cut everybody off. All right. Recording is up and running. I see the runway. It's snow covered. That's interesting. Let's not... Hopefully I don't have to use rudders here. Winds were... what did we say the winds were? Doesn't look too terrible down there. I'm just looking off the water. Let's go ahead and lower the gear. We're visual approach. We're going to leave the props set. Turn prop sync off. Please tell me I did. Yes. We got the right of way after cutting everyone off. You know what, Bills? Migs, thanks for another Canadian, man. Appreciate you. Visuals are so good. I'm right there with you, man. I'm excited for this replay, too. I can see the airspeed is gusting a little bit. So let's go ahead and drop in full flaps. All right, pumps not required. Mixture is full rich. Props are set. Gear is down. Runway is clear. I'm not sure. I think we just land anywhere in the clearing, right? A little bit bumpy. Maintain this 110-ish here. We'll start bleeding it off as we come across that tree line. I don't know where the runway is supposed to be. Whoa! trying to just soft field her down. Props forward. Try to keep that nose from digging in.
Tanana traffic, November 254 Delta Kilo, with 1 DME, runway 07.
Oh, look at the snow. Look at the... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Banana. I don't know why I don't have a... I might have to install the TBM so I can see that guy's livery. Wow, we got to be real careful here with taxiing. Look at our tracks in the snow. We don't want to ding a prop here.
On the traffic, 6740 would be right procedure turn VOR DMV or
I'm gonna stop the recording. Oh, ooh, gotta be careful with that. We could definitely ding a prop. I want to turn around so I can watch these guys land. Took the best parking spot in the house there, that Pepto plane. For those on final, just be advised of that. There's a massive sink coming over the runway there. No, I really didn't even need to brake, Victor. Which is crazy, because you can feel like you can feel we're on snow. I love that part of 2024. I do think that's improved. All right, we'll set it up to 1,000 RPM. Let's make sure everything has been clean. Cabin is good. We'll run this into the dump here. Go ahead and close the pressurization switches. Electric trim.
Traffic November 705.
It's in the green.
On base. Well, 07.
Lights are coming off. And we'll go generator 1, generator 2, avionics. Nice and warm. Let's come down to about 1,000 RPM. That's a little much there at 1,400. Cut off. Idle. Mags. Battery. We'll leave the cowl flaps closed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pata Tanana Banana. Oh, somebody just hit that sink. Look at that. Why don't I have gear? Is this gear down? That's a turbine Duke. Maybe he's landing on a different scenery. No, I don't think he's landing on a different scenery. I think he just overshot. Maybe. No, he's got plenty of runway. I don't know why. Oh, he's sliding out. Man. Who's next? Let's take a screenshot. We got to document. We got to document our journey. Leg 2. Turn around. Now we got to make a screenshot here. We'll take this one standing up. Our first leg. Let's see, there's another Duke there. Oh, he doesn't have gear, though. Check. Why don't I have other airplane sounds? That's unfortunate. I wish I could hear the other Dukes. Oh, here comes somebody else. There's a wicked sink coming over that ridge. Looks like everyone's hitting the same thing. Gosh, why don't I have gears? Anybody fix that? That's a new thing that started. That looks like a bounce. Oof. MiGs, I definitely think there was some sort of mechanical turbulence being simulated there. Whether it's the tree and the ridge line coming right across there, because we definitely felt it. Oh, there's Barry right in the eyeballs there. We definitely felt it. Look at the the track marks in the snow. Oh, that's too good. Is there anybody else on final? As we get ready to wrap this stream up, y'all, please do hit the like button. I want these streams to be some of the highest like to view ratio that we can make, just so it gets the Duke content in the algorithm, and people that want to see any sort of Duke flying will come and join us. So look at this. Why am I have a Pepto plane here? I think it's because I don't have the TBM, and I don't have a TBM in 2024. I don't know why that is, but I've got the model. Ah, he just ran me over. Watch out, bro. Alerts, Zippy. My man, I apologize, Zippy. I have him muted here on final. Zippy, I appreciate you, man. British Airways 247 here. Looks like you should have brought bush tires for this airport. Wait, are you a Speedbird? Are you a Speedbird on final? Thanks, Zippy. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Zippy. Yeah, you know what it is, Zippy? I don't think I have alerts in... Yeah, there we go. I've got it fixed now. My replay cam here. Thank you, Zippy. Appreciate the super chat. What are you flying? You gotta be in the... You have the Duke, right? Ooh. Ooh, that looked firm. That definitely looked firm. And he doesn't even have gear. If you don't have gear and it looks like a firm landing, then it's probably extra firm with gear. Let's see if anybody else is out there. You should snap a screenshot like you just had it with Barry taking a selfie with Duke. Matty K, we did. It's going to be the next thumbnail, man. That's going to be the next thumbnail. I appreciate the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Oh, you're over Brazil, landing in Sao Paulo in 3 hours. I got you, Zippy. Well, that'll be a fun approach, though. Sao Paulo, nice. Migs, thanks again for another 3 Canadian. It's been a very cool first leg. Excuse the pun. Let me check and see if we have any other Dukes on final here. Let me check the Aveo Premium map. Oh, watch out for caribou. Can we see? Is there any caribou? Maybe we should go walk in the wilderness. I don't even know how to find this place on the map. Oh yeah, there's 2 more on final. 3 more. Let's walk out to the... Oh, here he comes. That one looked better. That one was pretty good right there. He caught that sink. Yep. He caught that sink. Oh, you know what I need to do is I need to turn off or turn up the sound. Let's go settings. Let's turn up other airplanes. Other aircraft. Yeah, that's why. There we go. Let's run out here. Oh, you know what, Vaughn? If we walk out far enough, we might find the river. When is second leg next Sunday? May need to find something suitable to follow along on FSX. Diabetic Lad. Maybe tomorrow, just because I want to fly Duke again. But generally, I'm going to try to keep these streams around the weekends, between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday is technically a holiday for Americans because it's the day after the Super Bowl, so I think we can sneak another one in tomorrow. At this rate, Microsoft will add fishing, hunting to Flight Sim so you can fly in a place like this and go fishing. I know, that would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it, Medicaid? A full-blown... So, I mean, the river's right there. Are there any animals out here? I don't see any. Should put BS in winter clothes. Oh, logo lights. Can I do that? Can I modify them each? I think I could, right? Logo lights. I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna modify Barry to get him some coats. Cause you're right. We're way up north. I'll modify Barry's outfit. I don't see anybody out there just yet. Let's take a quick peek in here. Oh. I'm gonna zoom in. Let's see. Anybody else on final? I don't see anybody yet. Let me check the map. Yep, we got 724 Romeo. He's in BE60 Lima. And we've got 2 more on final. Barry Seal runs like he hasn't run since the Clinton administration. I feel like I can hear. Oh, I see him. I see him. Oh, he's way high. I hear him. Let's see if he gets a sink. He might be above that little... Oh, a little burble right there. Holding it off. I feel like he came in high. Ooh, crunch it. Crunched it. The only thing I don't like, I wish you could zoom. I wish you could zoom in this view right here. Like a binocular mod. I mean, I guess the camera is a binocular, but I just wish I could zoom from this view. All right, we got one more bird on final. Let's bring him in. I could just hear all that. This airport's probably seen one airplane in the last 5 years, and today they just had like 12 Dukes fly in. I'm looking for any caribou out here. Mad Max, oh I know, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Our next destination, if you want to know our planned routes, so I'm going to try to plan the routes 3 or 4 at a time, and they will be in the Discord. If you look at the route info, I will have the routes in the Discord under the route planning. So you should see the next 4 legs. And then every day that we do one, I'll have the additional details like the actual route of flight and the mileage. Oh, wow, look at this. You know what's crazy, though? It's like, I mean, I grew up, you know, playing first-person shooter games and stuff like that. I mean, the graphics in this is better than a lot of the first-person shooter games that I played growing up. A lot better. Whoa! Did he go around? Hold on, where's this last guy at? Let me check. Did he not make it? Or maybe that was the last guy. Let's see. I think he's on final. What's that way out there? Is that a windmill? Oh, that must be the VOR. That must be the VOR out there. Oh, here comes this guy fly by. That's pretty cool. All right. Oh, there he is. Is that him? Nope. That's just the pixel on my screen I keep seeing. Look at that. Down by the riverbank. Anybody want some salmon? I saw a salmon. Did you guys see that? Oh, no. It's just the red right here. I swear. Look. So right there, there's like a red reflection. I thought that was a red salmon in the water. I got to go fishing. I need to get out of here. What time is it? 1:30. I got to get the smoker fired up. I don't know where this last Duke is. I think maybe we saw him come in. I hear something in the tree line. Maybe he didn't make it. I tried, brother. Let's see. Oh yeah, I don't see him. I think something happened. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the airplane real quick. Meow. Everybody's down, cozy. Let's do our replay. So let's go ahead and disconnect from Aveo Premium, and I'm afraid that the replay will damage our engines. Maybe not. As long as we run these up, keep the power back. Let's see. It hasn't damaged them before. Okay, we're both at 100%, so we're okay. Alright. The Duke is pretty good with replay mode, though, so it's pretty good. I don't think I've had issues. Alright, we'll watch this first one in here. I'll leave that one for the end. Let's just speed it up here. That was a beautiful approach, though. Do you think we'll see a three-peat? Man, Flight Sim Dad, I sure hope we don't. But my buddy's house that I'm going to, they're hardcore Chiefs fans, so we're gonna find out here real soon. 5 o'clock, right? I think it's 5 o'clock today. Yeah, see, if I leave at 1:30, be at 3 hours to smoke the tri-tip, make the chimichurri sauce, tri-tip skewer appetizers. Skewers. It's time for a wellness check on V1 dealing with AA Ron allegedly leaving the Jets. Wait, did he already leave? I haven't heard anything, Gus. Post chimichurri recipe in the Discord? All right, Nabil. Yeah, if you're cooking out today, make sure you keep us all informed with the food channel. Oh, yeah, if you're in Missouri, Flight Sim Dad, absolutely. So everything was good. Yeah, right there. Just a little bit of a burble. Hold it off. I didn't want to drive it in. What's deceiving about landing in snow like this is you think that you can't really, your depth perception is off for how long you have on the runway. That was actually pretty good. That was a pretty good touchdown, actually. Hold it off. Just kind of hold it off. Into the snow a little bit. Should have held the nose up a little longer. There you go. Just try to keep that nose from digging in. Not a bad soft field landing. Look at the wing flex. I love that they even got that very subtle wing flex done properly. Man, that is the juice, isn't it? All right. Y'all get one last replay. Sales coming up. That's going to end it for me today. Y'all, I had an absolute blast flying this. We might have to fly longer legs, or might have to do 2 legs in one stream. I have so much fun with this. I hope you'll have fun watching it. This kicks off the Tour de Americas. Leg 2 will either be tomorrow or next weekend. We'll be streaming live tomorrow in some jetliner as well. It'll either be the MD-80 or an Airbus. Keep an eye on the community tab. I might just make a poll too. We'll see if you guys want to see it or not. But I think this was a great first flight. Shout out to Nabil for the trailer movie, Whiskey Throttle for the livery, and thank you all who flew along. That was pretty awesome, leaving Barrow and seeing 7, 8, 9, 10 Dukes there on the ramp. That was pretty cool. You guys are awesome. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will catch y'all tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See you.